Hi guys, hello. I'm Carla from Carla's Readings, and I'm doing a twin flame reading. Um, so what we're doing today's the 11th of August, and it's the new moon, new energies, new beginnings, new insights. So let's see what we have got here. So the top row is the masculine, and the bottom row is the feminine energy. And as I say, like we all sort of go through a little bit of everything. So yeah, we'll just see what comes up. Also asking to see what blocks are kind of coming up for us that we are currently working through or that we need to face and look at. So see what comes up. So the first card we have is the Moon, and it's Archangel Haniel. Important psychic insights, events happening behind the scenes, release fears that hold you back. So masculine, lots and lots of energy going on for them. I just feel like meditation, spending lots of time in meditation, trying to decipher what's sort of going on, trying to decipher what's what. They're really getting used to their talents. They're like they're manifesting really hard at the moment. And therefore, like trying to stay focused on what they want within themselves instead of what's going on in their outside reality. Um, but yeah, really staying focused on zooming in on their intuition, on the facts, on the hard facts that they are seeing in their physical life, in like the physical changes that are taking place within their life, which is many things. Like so much has changed for them, and they're really seeing that their gifts are really special and really important. They're really valuing themselves and valuing their gifts. So that's really beautiful. They're just trying to like kind of balance out their gifts and have a play and sort of, yeah, work out what's what and sort of go further into what they know to already be true, because they're seeing things happen in their physical reality. So they're, having premonitions. Um, they could be having a little bit of anxiety around the fact that things are changing so fast for them, and they're really having to let go of control to a certain extent. And so that could be a block that they're working through at the moment, is letting go of that control, facing their anxieties and accepting that, you know, the things aren't so bad, and sort of learning how to deal with that and internalizing themselves and just deciphering like what's real and what isn't real, and what's an illusion, what isn't an illusion, that sort of stuff. And like just sort of coming into understanding about manifestation, and really using it to their abilities. But they're really wanting to understand their power more and more and more. So that's a really good thing. And using it, they're beginning to use it in their workspace as well, I feel. So whether they're in their mission or whatever they're doing, they're starting to implement it within like work and within their physical surroundings, whereas previously before, there may have been a bit of fear about like using their abilities with their like friends or family or at work, and in fear of people knowing about their abilities. But I feel like that fear is really gone, and there's just a lot of excitement, um, and a lot of like just really wanting to express themselves and be themselves, and show off their talents and their skills. They're really proud of themselves. They're really proud of how far they've come and how much they've grown, and they're really just trying to stay like within their vibration, stay centered, and they know that they're not alone, although they might be feeling a little bit of that alone kind of feeling, even though they know they're not alone, if that makes sense. Um, but overall, like I just feel like they're doing really well. They're, you know becoming really strong within themselves, within who they are, and this kind of thing. So I'm just getting pushed to look at the feminine card and what the feminine's going through at the moment. So we've got Two of Air, which is being unable or unwilling to make a decision, a stalemate, pretending there is no problem. So this is an inner conflict. This is really coming to a stage of having to make a decision. So it's like the final time is here, and I feel like the feminine's really getting pushed now to go further within their, further into their depth, further into their talents, further into their abilities, into their journey work, and like open the door to the journey work and just have a look and a feel and have a play, and see what's going on there. But there's a real push. It's almost like everything else is kind of like blocked behind you. So you're really trying to keep going in your life as it is, or as you've known it all this time, and you've just come to this dead end where it's just you're not able to really necessarily go any further in the direction that you once were in. So you're really getting pushed into that next stage. So it's really important to start to, at this stage, get creative and start to like implement changes in the ways that you can implement them in the ways that are easy and good for you. And so I did some meditation the other night, and I was asking about what the next sort of steps for me were, and the advice that was given to me was to work with what I've got, and I really needed to hear that, because so often we try to go outside of like, we need this or we need that, I need this much money to achieve that, but in reality that's not true, because there's so many ways around, to get around those blocks, and needing like money or needing help from other people or whatever it is. And also it's about allowing yourself to allow that help in from other people, but not necessarily like suck, you not, obviously not to be sucking the life out of um, your friends and family. Like, it's time to step into your own power, but really use the resources that you've got. So if it is working with friends and like doing contra, or just ask for help, like work with the people in your life that you have, because everyone's got their talents, and everyone's placed within your life, like, you know, for a reason. And that's what like friendship's for, that's what family is for, like allowing yourself to surrender to each other and to show each other your fears, and just, embrace each other and support each other. So we're really being forced to go outside of our comfort zone in terms of like, where our comfort, where our comfort lies. Um, and so for some that may be allowing friends to help, or for some that may be like, you know, going and trying out different markets, like, or starting to do readings or healings or whatever it is for you. It's just taking that step outside, um, and making things work. So really at the moment we're learning to make things work for us. So quite beautiful. Um, so the next card for the masculine is the ego, so Archangel Jophiel, a false sense of entrapment, being overly focused on material things, negative or fear-based thoughts. That's interesting because it kind of connects back into what I was just saying there. I mean, they're already all connecting. So it's just so interesting the way that we all work together and how it all flows on all the time. Um, so with this card, I just get that it's a real, again, like a real sense to like step outside of the box, to allow yourself to move forward. So if this is in terms of the twin flame connection, as we step outside and take a leap and step into our journey work, like, consume it, like, submerge ourselves in our journey work and in our passion and in our heart's desires, will allow for the masculine to step into their um, to release their fear of like maybe connecting with us, with the feminine. I really feel like they're almost there. They've been living this like falsity for so long, which was their reality, but this illusion of this alignment with, they're realigning with their truth. They're getting closer to their truth. They are not so willing to like just accept things as they are anymore. Like they're really wanting to step outside and really take that leap of faith. I just thought he had a rose in his hand, but he doesn't. But it does look like he, to me, it did look like he does. Um, and so I'll take that. But it's like they're almost just hanging in there. They're like, all right, well, this is the next step for me. This is what I need to take. But they're not really moving, so they're just standing still. And if you look at this picture, it's the same thing. These guys are also just standing still because they're not quite ready to transition or to take that leap or to completely open their eyes, to completely surrender themselves. And so it's really important. So again, and that feminine card comes up before that masculine card. So um, as we transition into allowing the universe to support us and to embrace our true abilities, they'll feel more comfortable in seeing that within us as well. Um, there's a real need for them to surrender to this. It's just, this is the block. Like there's a real need for them to surrender to this relationship and to be like, yeah, well, this is what it is, and there's nothing to fear. Like, well, if I can do this on my own, then we can do this together. Um, I have the strength. I have the strength now to make things work. So they're really like strengthening up their muscles, like strengthening up their powers and their trust, like trusting themselves and their own strength and their abilities and everything like that. So they can say like, hey, okay, well, like I'm ready. I've been working on myself. I want this change. I want to embrace you. Like I want to embrace this journey. I want this. And they're in deep knowing of what they truly want. Yeah. It's just like they're stuck and they're just going like, well, yeah, I know I have to take this step, but like I don't know. Maybe not yet. Maybe I just need a little bit more time. Maybe just a little bit more time, and I'll be there. I'll be ready. So this is kind of the thought process. So if you're thinking about that in terms of your journey work or in terms of your own development, then you can be sure that they're thinking about that too, with their own sense of development and with their own like coming into union. Um, because we're waiting for this like this elaborate love story to come running in, to come like flowing into our lives, and they can sense that, they can feel that, and they just want to be, they want to be that prince, they want to be that king, to be able to show up for you, show up at your doorstep, and um, embrace you and tell you how much like you mean to them, and tell you how much you're worth. It sounds terrible, but how much you're worth to them. Um, they want to open up and embrace you and love you and all this kind of thing. Um, and it's also a matter of like, for the feminine, possibly like having the expectations too high. And so if the masculines are feeling like, oh, we want to be this amazing person to um, come together with this other amazing person, with our divine counterpart, um, because they're amazing. They see us as like amazing and strong and worthy and like miraculous, and they just want to be sure that they're at that same stage too, because that's how they're feeling about us. So I think a similar message came up a little bit in the past reading that I did, and it's around what I'm getting is like expectations, and they're saying to like lower your expectations, or like um, expecting too much of the divine masculine, which is like a reflection of expecting too much of yourself, right? But it's definitely feeding out into the masculine side, where they're thinking like, gee, I have to be so much just to like be enough, right? And so where's that reflection coming from within you? So it's time to, yeah, so it literally says time to buckle down and get things done, have on your commitments, a guardian angel, and it's Knight of Earth, loyalty, dedicated, honorable, and kind. And it's really surrendering to the process and just allowing that like exchange of life, bringing like, you know, that life energy, like the purity, the love, the kindness, the purity doesn't have expectations so high. That's the ego that's placing these expectations upon us, that are expecting us to achieve like XYZ before we're good enough, um, that kind of thing. So that's something to go into for those of you that are doing the healing. That's something that definitely needs to go into, like getting over those expectations. That's what we're about to start healing, is getting over those expectations of yourself, and then you'll find that that will like release from your counterpart as well, because we just truly want to be at a place of peace and happiness and grace, and you know, get things done and achieve what we're here to achieve. And so letting go of like the expectations around the romance, or around like what my life should look like, and it's not looking like that, and I feel terrible, this kind of thing. That's a real need to sort of release that, in order to allow yourself to go with the flow. Because if you are expecting yourself to be like XYZ to be good enough, then firstly, you're not going with the flow, but secondly, like, you're blocking the energy from coming in. So if you're calling in this like divine love, or this amazing job, or whatever it is you're calling in, and then you truly believe that you're not good enough to receive it, then it can't energetically, it can't come in. You're putting blocks in the way of receiving. So what we're really learning to do is like receive, like, you know, the balance of the giving and the receiving. And I feel for a while back there, we were learning how to receive, um, and now it's coming into that balance, learning how the giving and the receiving, the ebb and the flow, the realization that what you do flows on to your counterpart and flows on into your reality, etc., etc., and really making a shift for the better in this sense. I just sense great achievement coming for the feminine energy, and don't forget that we all have the, obviously I say this every video, but the masculine and the feminine within us. So the feminine energy is like coming into a great sense of like achievement in terms of balancing out the energy with the masculine, and going in terms of like going with the flow, having that laid back lifestyle that you really want and really cherish, um, and also, and the balance of the doing what we're here to do, and having that ultimate balance, the empowerment, and the courage to move forward into our life's like ambitions and goals, and setting achievements for ourselves. But great success is on its way, like very, very great. And I just looked at the last card. Actually, the last card in the feminine is victory, good news. But there is a card before that, and it's a time of positive change, a situation subtly moving forward. Fortune is on its side. So really, really great success. It's all come out of my mouth before reading the cards. So here we have it. So the masculine, so independent, experienced, witty, realistic. Objective decision making, clearing away all that no longer serves, and seeing the humour in a situation. So they're really learning to surrender, surrender to the process, to this twin flame process. They're really they're beginning to learn about it and understand it, and be objective about it. So instead of being really emotional and like maybe perhaps arrogant or worried or scared, arrogance coming from worry or fear, in relation to like no one can trap me or no one can hold me down, this kind of thing that perhaps maybe used to play out. They're really surrendering to this process now and understanding that like, hey, maybe it didn't come from a place of fear, but this is actually what's truly happening. My destiny lays within this union, within this relationship. This is my journey. This is my soul's path. Like I'm really seeing myself for the first time, and I'm really liking it. They're feeling really encouraged to just be themselves. That you know, letting go. Like I just feel like it's a whole level. It's a new level of like maturity, perhaps. And understanding of like the needs and the wants of the feminine as well, and wanting to embrace the feminine and be able to allow them to express themselves freely, and also to be able to express for the masculines. So both ways, the masculines are wanting the feminine to be able to express themselves without going into fear, and also the masculines are also wanting to be able to express themselves to the feminines, without going into fear. So they're coming into great courage, and real acceptance of who they are, and they're loving it. They really know that their truth lies within this journey. They're really understanding that. And they're really looking, I feel like they're having a little bit of fun and looking into the future, looking into the crystal ball and seeing what's in the future for them. And they're having a bit of a play, and again developing their powers and all that sort of stuff. But they're really stepping into understanding themselves and what the journey's about. So this is really quite a strong reading. Um, you know, it for me, this reading, it's really strong in the foundation, and you know, along the journey that I've been on so far, so many times along the way, I'm like, oh, I'm there, I'm in union, I'm there, gonna be together soon, this sort of thing. And to be honest, like I was in so much fear of anything at all back then, and now the messages that are coming through, they are so firm, and the masculine and the feminine are so strong within themselves. It really is just magical. And you know what? Wouldn't take any of this back. Wouldn't take any of it back. It's just it's pure magic. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. So sorry, I'm getting a bit emotional now. Interestingly enough, that card was just saying allowing the masculine and the feminine to be able to express themselves. Um, so we have here the wheel, and it's number 10. So yeah, new beginnings, like completion and new beginnings. So a time of positive change, a situation suddenly moves forward, fortune is on its side. Um, Again, like that great success comes back, that real great success, great sense of achievement. And so this is aligning again. So the feminine and the masculine are feeling this great sense of achievement. They're feeling this encouragement from one another. They're feeling in support, um, to express themselves. So for the feminine, I just feel, I'm feeling like, it's even possible that the feminine are going through quite a turbulent transition at the moment emotionally, and this is just encouragement that things are turning for the better. You've been like working really hard, working through some real emotional trauma, um, allowing yourself to face, having to face that trauma as well, having to face that trauma, um, having to accept like the challenges that come up your way instead of like perhaps hiding as you previously would have just hid and just kept going on with your life how it was. Um, it's not like that anymore. It's you're really facing your shit. You're facing your emotions. You're expressing yourself. You're allowing yourself to change with the elements and with the um, environment and the planets, the planetary shifts. And we are really, really feeling it. And it's highly emotional at the moment, highly emotional. So, just all the elements on this card. So, it'd be really, important to ground yourself. Like, I just feel like, even feeling really grounded within yourself already, um, and knowing who you are and accepting yourself for who you are. So you're being forced to accept yourself for your truth, and letting go of judgment. Stepping into that real divine feminine power. At the moment, you're getting lots and lots of encouragement from spirit at the moment to say, keep going, like you're on the right track. So a positive change, a situation moves forward, fortune is on its side. The next card for the feminine is victory, good news is on its way, public recognition or rewards. Um, okay. So keep positive, keep working through it. You know what you're doing. You've done this before. You know it's got to happen. You know this transition has to happen. Things are gonna work out for you. Just make sure you like put yourself first and allow yourself to ask for help if you need help. And just don't hold back. Don't hold back on your talents. Don't hold back on your gifts. Don't hold back from allowing people to experience what you have to offer, because it's what you're here to do. So yeah, lots of encouragement from spirit. So if you need some help, connect into Archangel Michael for some help in helping you sort of move forward through this transition that you're going through at the moment. So the masculine, same for the masculine, Archangel Michael is coming up and he's bringing through all the messages today for us. So if you would like some help or protection, so on that note, don't forget to do your protection on yourself, because there's so many crazy emotions going around. You just don't want to be taking on other people's stuff. So yeah, protect yourself and like meditate, keep clean, um, recharge yourself, and stay focused and positive. So we have for the masculines, we have the Nine of Fire, don't give up, protect that which you've created, have courage and believe in yourself. Wait, it's another card that needs to go with them. So is it these two here, is it? So I've just got an extra two cards. They fell out before and I wasn't sure where they went.